It's probably a smallmouth. Oh, it's a good fish. What's going on there, YouTube fishing world? If you notice, I haven't fished or uploaded in quite a while now, but today I think I'm actually going to get on the water. So pretty excited about that. But a few things first. I am going to do a video about a little bit of a recap about this development right here. You notice the carpet in both different color from the past videos, and that's because it's new carpet. I had some carpet put in, and if you watch the past video, I did this roll-on floor in there. You can see that. And I'm gonna make a second video about an update on that floor and why I went with carpet on the decks. But first, before we load up the kayak, which I know I have this awesome new carpet, but I'm gonna take the kayak to a place today that has been a little hit and miss. But I had a Facebook memory come up recently. I think it's a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago. I went to the spot and absolutely caught a fish almost every cast. So today, hoping to go out there and recreate that. We'll see if we can do that. Let's hope we can. Also gonna be taking with me my new toy here. So this is a Cast King Zephyr reel, and I'm gonna do a video with a full review of this, I think, at some point. And it's on a beautiful Dobbins Sierra Light BFS rod, BFS reel. So we're gonna go out with a very small Kitech and a few light lures and see if we can catch some fish on that as well. I may be addicted to this new BFS thing. I have to confess that I took the rod out just for a few casts about a week ago, and I caught a fish on like the first cast. It was pretty fun, but throwing those really, really small light lures on a bait caster has some advantages, and I'll get into that more later, and we'll see how that goes today from the kayak. First though, mess with the kids a little bit. I found these. They're dirty and they're old, but I'm gonna go put these on our second lot where they can see it from their window and see how much I don't know how long they'll take to notice. So our bedroom window is up there. Sometimes me and Isabella will watch the squirrels in the morning, so we're gonna go put one of these over here where you can see it from that window. But down in the woods, down there from the tree house, maybe a few hundred yards, there's a city park, and there's a lot of trails and bikes and hikers are through there. So I may put one closer there too. So that's done. I didn't put it down there near the trail. The undergrowth's so thick, I would have to put it so close to the trail, and I don't want them to get stolen, even though they were free. There's the other one there. Of course, there's the box. We'll see how long this takes. All right, guys, we are out here at the, call it the Stock Creek embankment. There's a little campground over here to our left. Just coming underneath this bridge from Highway 33, Maryville Pike. And there's some people trying to take their John boat out, and I didn't want to be that kayak guy who's sitting at the ramp trying to rig up. So I figured I would float out here in the embayment and get rigged up while on the kayak. They said it's pretty windy out there in the, I guess they came from maybe the main channel, or at least further out there in the, this connects to the Little River. So I'm going to concentrate on going upstream. There's a little railroad bridge up here, and like I said, I had some pretty good luck at that bridge a while back. Make sure I tie this knot below with that little crinkle in my line. This is a tiny crappie jig head with the smallest Kitech I think they make. It's like probably less than 3 inches long. I don't know all the Kitech sizes because they decided to make them all 2.8s and 3.7s and all sorts of things that were a little confusing. But if you did notice in the intro, I am wearing a jacket, despite it being in late March. The only time I got to go fishing, and it seems like this is a pattern now on the weekends. It has been cold. So my thought is that the only thing consistent about spring is inconsistency. So maybe I'll still find a way to catch them. We'll find out shortly though. But I'm gonna get rigged up, and then you guys will probably see a little bit of B-roll or something of me paddling up the creek if I see anything cool. The water is very low, so it's also questionable if I can get to my little hot spot, but we're gonna give it a shot. So we got our first fish. It's a giant. So, you know, not only getting the skunk off pretty quick, but I mean, look at the size of that one. Cannot doubt his spirit. Because, oh, I just hooked you again. Sorry, friend. He's, you know, that same size as the Kayak. So, yeah. Probably, maybe this fish was spawned out last year. I don't know. I did want to use this time, though, to address, I have a video that, I mean, I don't know if you call it viral, but it's got a lot of views on it, and I get a lot of comments. One of the things somebody said was, that video, and it's 15 things that, you know, I wish I'd known about kayak fishing before I started. There's a few different things people said on there that I wanted to try to touch on a little bit. Number one is that video doesn't actually talk about fishing. And that person's completely right. I did not talk about fishing in that video. But I think part of kayak fishing is not the fishing. It's all the other stuff that you've got to do, because if you are somebody who's watching who does kayak fish, you know there's a whole lot more prep that goes into kayak fishing, I think, than your typical bass boat fishing. So, yes, I did not talk about fishing in that video. Probably should have mentioned it, I guess, but, you know, talk a lot about kayak safety and some ways to keep your boat in good shape for a long time. This is looking terrible on this one. Another one is the anchor wizard that I like to use for anchor management and keep that line off my deck. Somebody mentioned that there's no quick release on it. So like if you are in a position and you're stuck, your anchor's stuck, you can let out line until it runs to the end of the spoil and it's not going to break. That is a risk that you run into if you're in heavy current. I always try to anchor off the front or the back. I don't have an anchor trolley to change the angle of my anchor or anything. I just do it to where the water would flow around me. And I guess if things got into a bad enough situation, I don't know if I even mentioned in the video, but I always have a knife on me. And if that line is under tension, which I'm assuming it will be in that kind of situation, it won't take very much to just cut through it. So, like right now, I've got a Gerber in my pocket that I could use. I do think there's some value in having a designated kayak knife that just stays on your kayak. I don't have one. Maybe that's something I will get in the future. So just a couple things I wanted to hit on from that video if you are somebody that watched both of them. But back to fishing. Let's see if we can tune this old jig head out a little more, and maybe the hook's all jacked. That tiny little fish. I mean, this must just be the cheapest jig head ever. But I'll get back to fishing and turn this thing on, hopefully with the next fish that I catch. Quick update. I decided that after, 15 or so casts, I need to keep moving. So I left that spot back there, what I would have called my honey hole, where I wanted to fish. Rather than going downstream, I decided I'd see how far I could go upstream. And this is a weird embayment. I've been up here a long time ago, but it's in the summer. Look at this. It's like a coastal flat. Just the tide only comes in and out, twice a year. There's like this little channel swing right here, and it's a little deeper. It's 1.1 feet deep. My transducer's almost directly below me here. But it's just spread out. And it is, watch, I hit the bank right here. That's how soft. It is just muck and silt. But there's like this little, what would you call that? Like a gooseneck or whatever you can call it, where it's focusing all the water down. So there's got to be some deep holes in here. I'm going to try this for a little bit. If it doesn't work out, I'll head back downstream. I'm going to fight up this current. It must be a really shallow spot, like a shoal. I don't know if I can get over it. I think it's going to be too shallow. At this point, this has become an unhealthy mission. I see where this flat has to end. There's some ridges up there. My guess is this creek. I'm looking at the map, it's going to go underneath the road and there's going to be another bridge. But I am scraping bottom. So we'll see if we can make it to this one little stretch. And I hope it's worth it. I hope there's some fish back there. But if anything, it's an adventure. It's windy, it's cold, it's shallow. I'm on the quest for some fish. And we have hit ground. I don't know if I can get over this or not. I'm gonna see how squishy it is. I'm gonna get out. I do have a rope and my muck boots on, so I can go about a foot deep. But we have hit absolute shallow water. What is going on with this place? I thought I had a rope already attached. Oh, it is attached. Okay. It's just a really long rope. I don't think I have one this long. Reposition it there. And now we walk. Eek, a little squishy. Not too bad. I'm guessing that right here in the middle of the creek bed is going to be the hardest bottom. So I'm trying to stay in here. I hope the wind's not too bad on camera. But it's got to get deeper up there. Just gauging by the amount of water coming in, the amount of current, there's going to be a place where it's going to get deeper. I don't know why I'm doing this at this point. Like, if I don't catch any fish up here in a steeper spot, it's going to be pretty discouraging. Like I said, there's a road that goes over. There's a bridge. Whenever they build bridges, they pick the deepest, narrowest point of the creek to build it. But also they'll dredge a little bit around it to prevent flooding. So hopefully we will find some kind of good productive water. Question for you experts out there: how do tires end up places like this? Look at that, nothing. I mean, there's a dock out there, and I guess there's like a giant house over there. But did those people like drag that tire there and drop it off? How do tires end up in these weird places? Right, so we got a little bit deeper water. I mean, like 6 inches. So we're gonna hop in, see if we can march on. Oh, we're stuck good now. That's good. That's what we'd hoped for. And the amount of current's not the problem, because I can't get the paddle blade deep in the water at all. I'm smacking the bottom, and I don't want to break my paddle and be up a creek without a paddle. Still a very soft bottom. I don't know if you can see the depth finder, but whenever you can't see much white and the bottom is higher towards the top, it typically means that you are, for lack of a better term, shooting radio waves down, and the returns are very let's call it smudgy or like mushy, because they're going down into the dirt a long ways before they come back. If you see a real defined line, that's how you know there's more of a harder bottom down there. So I'm hoping to find, well, this changes over to more rocks and a harder bottom. Pretty much all creeks do that at some point. Oh, some beautiful wood ducks. Alright, we'll update shortly. I just had a big bite. Camera wouldn't turn on. I just let the sink go down and just sit for a second and start reeling it slow. The bottom still seems to be very soft. Not encouraging. We'll paddle on up to that bridge, fish around there, and then come back through here may switch out kayaks, different color, just something to try to fool that fish. And then biting again. But upstream is almost definitely shallower, and I don't know how much shallower. There we go. It's a good one too. Probably a smallmouth. Oh, it's a good fish. Oh, it's a big largemouth. I mean, being relative to where we are. There we go. There we go. No, that same fish from earlier. Absolutely beautiful. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All that paddling and dragging. Worth it. 100%. I'd like to think when I fish places like this, some of these fish never been caught before. Maybe never seen artificial lures before. Is there one on there now? It felt weird. I've had fish come up and grab a kayak from behind and swim with it, and it's almost impossible to tell that you've got one. Of course, this kayak is in such bad shape. Just a few more fish, little buddy. Oh, this is an 8-to-1 ratio. We don't know how I couldn't catch up with that fish. I caught the last fish that little kayak would handle. My GoPro wouldn't turn on, but then I just caught this other one. A little smaller. It's a little nice little fish. I had to switch over to the Z-Man. Diesel swim. I don't know what it's called for sure. But there's definitely a lot of fish in here. I'm gonna try to fix my GoPro, and also my foot peg freaking broke. So, fun times. Okay, trying to fix a few things here. These GoPro batteries, the actual GoPro ones, seem to work fine. But I've noticed that these Artman ones, they don't like reliably turn the GoPro on. So we're going to drop the anchor. Of course, had a tangle. Got my battery switched out. Can't fix the foot peg on the water. And all the things I bring in my kayak, I don't bring extra foot pegs. So, you know, lesson learned there, I guess. Oh gosh, I've got a bit of a net issue here. Tangle with my little rope I tied to the net. There we go. I always try to net fish on crankbaits. Nice, nice, another fish. Number 4 or 5, I think. I didn't think they would chase a crankbait back here. I thought maybe it'd be a little timid, but that was the first cast with it. I caught one. Oh, got a bite. This is the smaller sized frit side. Throwing it on a spinner rod, it's really light. And I could throw it on that BFS rod, but I've already got it tied on here, and just thought I'd give it a shot. So I've got a decision to make. I've caught a few fish here. The bigger one was out there a little bit. There's still some navigable, good word there, navigable water behind me. I'll drop anchor here though, because I've been catching them. So now I've got to decide if I start working my way up this stream a little bit. I think I'm going to. It seems like anytime I stick on one spot after catching a couple fish, I tend to like get stuck in that spot. I mentally can't move on from it. Thank you, crankbait. Thank you for making a mess up there. Goodness. What has happened up there? Here we go. Okay. We'll start working our way further up this creek. The kayak feels so weird without that foot peg. I guess I rely on them a lot more than what I probably thought. Now this is a red color, craw color frit side. And I've caught a ton of fish on these frit side crankbaits. Got some creek vomit on this thing. Creek diarrhea. I'm guessing upstream from here it's going to continue to get shallower, but when I get home tonight I'll be thinking about how I wish I would have tried to go a little further and see if Old Chester actually lives further upstream. So onward we go. I don't feel the crankbait vibrating. Something's not right. Oh, if it hooked its line. So this is a Arc Lancer Pro. I got this at Knox Rod and Reel. Never had an Arc rod before. It's a medium action, and it will straight bomb this little crankbait. Ah! You almost got me. Almost got me, friend. Really give them. I mean, like I said, good being relevant. These are not Chickamauga giants. They're, you know, 1 pounders. Now, one was a decent sized fish. But for a cold day on a weekend in late March, when the lakes are absolutely just crawling with bass boats, getting way up in this creek, and all the work I had to do to get here, I'd say it's pretty well worth it. I will say this, in the Z-Man versus Kayak world for me, the Z-Man one on this Matt Allen small swimbait head is holding up so much better than that Kayak did on that crappie jig head. Now I know the crappie jig head is not made for what I was doing with it, but And I think the Kayak has better scent. Probably. Oh, that's a tree. But the Z-Man is so much more durable. I'm not constantly having to reset my hook in there or anything like that. After I talk so good about it, I'm probably about to lose it in this brush pile. It's only 4 feet deep, so lure retriever can get it, but you get the idea. I came back to the spot where I missed that big fish earlier, and I got another big bite, and I had it on for a second, and I lost it. And I let the jig fall back to the bottom, and it came again. We try to cast way past it. How this happened. Slowly work it back. I should have sprayed some attractant on it. What's down there? It is a little bit of a rougher bottom. That felt weird. Okay. Back on the bottom. Must have just come over a brick or something. This is the best and the worst feeling when you miss a fish twice. Maybe you can count it 3 times in the same spot. It's like you know they're there. Actually get him to commit. Just gonna let it soak. I'm gonna have to go back with the Ned rig in a second. It's a green pumpkin colored jig. It probably matches the bottom like perfectly. Not always a good thing. Oh, my line just went limp all on its own. Oh, there it is. Oh, did you see that? Do I set the hook or not? Give it a little shake so I can take him off. The line just went limp on its own again. I think he's got it. Oh. Going back with swim bait. First cast. Right in the corner of mouth too, so I think I got it. I mean, it's not that big. Fought really big, bit really big. I mean, if it's the same fish. We'll ask him. Are you the fish that tormented my jig a second ago? He says, what jig? Look how pretty that eye is. See you, friend. So, this is a Strike King Kayak, basically. And this is a VMC Moon Eye jig head, mainly made for Demiki fishing. But it seems to hold up pretty good. Obviously caught fish on it. The Strike King seems a little tougher than the Kayak. I caught a couple fish on it now. Didn't always get the camera on time. But it seems to be holding up pretty good. That was a deplorable cast. So we'll see if there's anything else sitting right here. Like I said, kind of to the end. That's why it's running weird. That's why I gave it a twitch. All curly cued. here or not, but I've moved a long ways. I'm now back out here near the highway and just hammering these rocks with this, I want to call it a kayak. Really, it's a Strike King swim that looks just like a kayak. And man, buddy, you have got it good here. There we go. That little fish, not bad. So there's some riprap type rocks running down this bank. And using the logic of trying to find something that looks just a little different. A little bit smaller rocks out there. Not substantially smaller, but you know, just a little bit. So take a cast there. And he didn't hit it until he got closer to the kayak. And I paused it. That pause seems to really be what they're wanting. Oh, well good. I'm glad I threw it over that branch. There we go. Fell off luckily. So it's kind of real slow. Pause, let it slow. Pause, and that seemed to have got him. So maybe I found another pattern out here. 7 feet deep right here. Not what I would call deep water fishing by any means, but for this area, it's deep. Again, I think the fish that live in this creek don't go too far. I think they find the deeper water when it's cold. So if you can find the deeper water relative to the area, maybe that's the secret. It's raining tacos. If you don't know that song, you should go look it up. You'll know that song really well. My little girl loves it, and now it's stuck in my head.